nicely, and he's 11 and a half, so he's an older dog. So we just got done with his physical therapy, and he's doing great. He's running around the yard again. So
Yay!
yeah, he's doing great.
Well, give him a pat for us.
I will do. But yeah, so I thought I'd call in and see what you guys are up to, and it looks like you're up to roughly what I thought you'd all be up to, which is sitting and watching someone drive the bus.
Yeah, yeah.
Good job. Good job.
Be here.
Expectations
Yeah,
met.
pretty much.
We'll be here for a while.
There was apparently there's a challenge to ask Steptoe a question. His favorite fact for the $5 fact.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
we have to
that's
take
true.
a fact down.
Yeah.
We would like to ask you, we have a challenge going on where somebody's going to donate $5 to us for every fact we can get, but we need one fact from every person, so we're getting a fact from each of our callers. So do you have like a favorite piece of trivia or a fact that you can grace us with?
Oh, wow. I do. I'm probably going to have to think on it for a moment.
Okay.
I want to make sure it's worthy of the $5.
It's only $5 though. It's not, it doesn't have to be a $10 fact.
Oh, am I putting too much value on it?
But it's not. Don't do it as a $1 fact. It's got to be.
Yeah, it's got to be at least a $5 fact.
Right, that way, yeah, that way we're getting the full
not a
a tax deductible value, retail value.
Yeah, yeah.
A fact.
Get out. What? We're in Canada. I can talk about loonies and toonies.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, I was like, no loony fact, and she just got all upons.
Really?
Oh, the creepy doll just left.
Creepy doll doesn't like loonies or toonies.
Creepy doll apparently does not like loonies and toonies.
All right.
What?
Whoa. Okay. And that we just, we've got our plastic money now.
Mm-hmm.
That
Our real Monopoly money.
Our polymer bills
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
started to come out.
Transparency stuff.
Yes, we're now like Australia.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
we are
you and your
now
fancy
approaching
high-tech
as
money.
cool as
Yeah.
Australia. Yeah.
Which they're
And your health care and all that
I
stuff.
know. You know.
So while you think on your fact, we do have a few questions here that have been posted to our blog,
Great.
which I guess I will get started on. All right, here's a silly one to start you off. If your banhammer had a physical manifestation, what would it look like?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm a big fan of the grav hammer from Halo.
Good choice.
And that's what it would look like because I'm terrible at Halo multiplayer. And what I will typically do is find the grav hammer, hide in the corner, and I will get 2 kills per map. But by God, you will feel them. So yeah, it would look like the grav hammer from Halo.
All right.
And its name would be Chaucy.
Chaucy. Why Chaucy?
Just because it's something you never expect a grav hammer or a band hammer to be called.
Yep, fair enough.
That makes sense.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Someone asks, I'm a terrible person, why haven't I been banned yet?
Get your gamer tag. We'll do it.
And then it says, in all seriousness, do you consider Xbox Live to be safer from hackers than, say, PSN?
Oh, that's an interesting question. Security is not something that we look at as being sort of a one service has it and the other doesn't, because all services are under attack sort of at all times. We certainly put a lot of effort into trying to make sure that we don't have the types of situations that unfortunately just recently afflicted Sony. That doesn't mean we're immune to them, because the attackers have all the free time in the world, right? And at the end of the day, security is really more of a journey, not a destination. So we try really hard, and we're certainly, it's our top priority. But it's not a case where you're going to hear somebody at Microsoft say, "Oh yeah, we're fine. Nobody's going to ever," because that's just not the way you really can look at security when it comes to computers. There's always the risk, and we just work to minimize the risk.
And we're glad you do. Sorry, I'm just hitting something on Twitter here to let people know that you're actually talking to us.
Something.
I don't think we've
Twitter.
done that yet.
Tweeting that interview.
All right,
So we're just racing your
from the chat, dear Dr. Steptoe, what is the worst reason you've ever banned someone? And worst, I'm going to assume the most egregious thing they've done for you, or done to the service.
It's funny. I was thinking about haikus earlier, and one I came up with, like when you guys are reading them off, was like, you don't want to see all the shit I have to see all day long, always. The worst thing, I'll tell you the oddest thing. I was playing a multiplayer game called Shadowrun. And it was an early title for the Xbox 360. And it was really an excellent, one of the best team-based games ever made because it struck a great balance between team play, rewarding you for team play and rewarding you for individual achievement. So, for instance, you got points if you took bullets that were meant for the person carrying the flag and capture the flag. So it had really great architecture around trying to generate team-focused behavior. And there was this guy. So as a result of that fact, you really all had to work as a team. We were playing one night, and there was this guy, and I'm not making this up. He was repeatedly reciting the Declaration of Independence. Just over and over again. So we're trying to play, and he starts doing this, and I'm like, okay, that's kind of funny, I suppose. He's freedom casting or whatever. And then he gets to the end, and we're like, okay, finally, and he just starts over again. And I'm like, okay, dude, we can't hear each other talk because you're in our channel doing this. I need you to stop. And he gets louder. So I actually had to mute him for the service. Like I have the ability to just push a button and he can't talk to anyone. And that's the weirdest reason I've ever had to mute anybody. Because certainly, while the content...
We just hit our 5th point.
I see.
Robert got it.
I'm really
and now hold
fucking
A.
good.
Hold A.
Hold A.
I'm holding A.
Okay, good. Just keep it down until it starts.
It
Takes a while. It's an old bus.
There we go. Sorry, now I'm triggering achievements.
I like to think that it was my help as well.
You really
of course.
inspired me, Steph, let me tell you. I was thinking about you the entire time.
I knew it. I knew it.
Now you'll
I
notice,
could feel
Robert,
it.
you had time to clean your windshield and your
I
bug,
see
your
that,
bug
yeah.
New
splat's
cheat
gone.
Road trip!
Yeah.
Road trip.
All right, who
You're
wants
an
to take over?
achievement point.
Jamie.
Jamie.
Who wants to take over?
This is so much pressure.
My work here is done.
So,
You can do it, Jamie.
It's okay, Jamie. Now all you have to do is drive for 8 hours and you'll get a point too.
All right. See those yellow things? You just need to get it into the butt. Here we go.
As I say, already being thought of.
So, here's another question. Without naming names or giving away any personally identifiable information, have you ever had a celebrity browbeat you about a ban?
oh god.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Distracting.
Oh yes. I have two situations that tend to come up fairly often. One is that I'll have a celebrity, So just to take a step back, like justice is blind, sort of in our system. We don't know necessarily the person behind the gamer tag, unless it's an obvious one like mine. We justice is sort of blind. The team is not given the information about who they are punishing. They're only given the evidence. And what's really funny is that everyone seems to think that I'm sitting behind some computer going, banned. But that's not really the way it works. It's a whole team of people, and they're just reviewing evidence and making a determination and moving on to the next case. So yeah, every once in a while I'll get an email from either one of our PR people or the celebrity themselves saying, "Come on, you need to undo this." And it's like, we can't. Everyone has to be treated equally. The best story I have, and I can't name the person who it happened to.
It was Robert, wasn't it?
It was not. He's actually fairly well behaved. You would think so, but
That's
it's true.
surprising.
The funniest story I have is an actor, a famous actor, who was quoting himself in his profile on Xbox Live from a movie he was in. And the quote was extremely bad. And the worst part was that when he got hit, not only was he upset about the fact that he had been hit, by something that he had said in a movie that he was in, we actually sell that movie on our marketplace. And I had to explain to him that his profile was unfortunately public. You know, all ages can see it. So it's different than the marketplace where under 18 can't see it. Can't see that his movie is available. And so that was a tough conversation to have. The other tough conversation I often have to have is with Microsoft employees. Specifically, Xbox employees. They don't like to be punished as well. So, but again, justice is blind, and we hold everyone to the same standards. So, those conversations are tough, but at the end of the day, it's kind of like, well, I could just hand you your employment agreement and the terms of service for you to read, if you would like.
You can choose one or the other.
It's basically, when it comes down to it, Larry, this is the way that it works.
Yeah, when I have to hit Larry all the time. I mean, he's a bad boy. He's spectacularly bad at flying helicopters in Battlefield. And as we proved last night, I like to think that Battlefield is probably one of my favorite games for generating what I like to call movie moments or Michael Bay moments, where you're running around in the battlefield and something really crazy happens. Yeah. Like, suddenly a massive, helicopter, comes down and then explodes above you, just like right out of a Michael Bay film. And Larry's really good at generating those moments.
It's about entertainment.
Excellent. To turn that question, or the previous question, around on you a little bit, how routinely would you say that people are just like hideously offensive in your presence without realizing who you are?
Oh, all the time. One of my favorite things is to say to somebody, "Hey, dude, I can actually do something about this. So please stop behaving this way." I've never received any other response to that statement other than "fuck you, asshole." And so I basically have to sort of lean over to the laptop, hit a few buttons, and send that person on their merry way. It is really weird because sometimes people will try a variety of different things. Like they'll say something along the lines of, "Hey," to a friend, they'll say, "Hey, this guy was a jerk to me. His name's Steptoe. You should email him or message him and tell him how horrible he is." So I get this message from somebody that's just obnoxious, and we'll take an action against that person. Maybe communication, suspend them for a day. And they realize they've been pranked, essentially. So that's kind of a fun thing because my inbox gets filled up with when people do this on an internet forum, right? They'll say, "Hey, this guy Steptoe, he was a jerk to me in a game," and it's the thread is read by 500 people, and 50 of them decide to go send me a message, and they don't know who I am, even though it's prominent on my profile. So that does happen occasionally. That people just do stuff, and it's like. Beyond the not being a jerk aspect of it, one of the things that I talked about recently at PAX was I think we're moving away, thankfully, from Wheaton's law of don't be a dick into kind of a new space where I'm trying to encourage people to be excellent to each other. And I'll tell a quick story about that because I think it's illustrative of sort of what I'm trying to get at. Like Will, I mean, I grew up in the world of arcades and playing video games, physically with other people or playing, sports in a local park where, bad behavior had an immediate visceral reaction, And I think online there's a lot of the, the greater internet dickwad theory does apply here. Which, by the way, is my favorite penny arcade strip, because it's basically job security for me. And I think people just get away from that good sportsmanship concept when you anonymize the audience. And I was playing a game called Bulletstorm, and I assume you guys know about that game.
Yes.
Okay, it's got a great multiplayer mode where you actually with a bunch of friends, your goal is to kill people in the most spectacular manner to pass the level. It's not kill all the people, it's kill them in the most spectacular manner. And I was playing the game, and I was so terrible.